Tom Ricketts writes a letter to the fans. We break it down next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making us your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, we have one topic on today's show to lead off another great week here on Locked On Cubs. We're in off-season mode, and Cubs owner Tom Ricketts dropped his annual letter to fans at about 8:30 a.m. Central Time on Friday. We could break that part of it down if we want to as well, but the plan here is to go paragraph by paragraph, and to make it less of a read aloud, we're going to stop after every paragraph, talk about it, go to the next one, and that's going to be the show. So, Sam, hopefully you had a good weekend, and amongst the season's changing, the Bears in full force, the Cubs, not coincidentally, very purposeful, dropped this letter Friday morning. We're not going to let it get buried. We're going to talk about it this whole show.
Thanks. My weekend was good. I hope yours was too. Some crazy college football.
Iowa with a big win.
Spend some time with some family. It was a Jewish holiday Saturday. Left. Illinois was up 27-3. Got back 50-49. An outstanding Bears win. Get to that later. But yes, more just for me, Matt, and I'll just hand it right back over to you. It's not significant in terms of impacting it on the field, but as a fan of this franchise, as a diehard, and as somebody that understands what's going on, I came away kind of rolling my eyes with and just feeling that this letter, in addition to Jed's postseason presser, just had a little bit of a tone-deaf feel to it.
Cubs fans, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This is not where we planned to finish the season. Like our fans, we had high expectations for our team this year, and early victories delivered hope for postseason baseball. But inconsistent play and injuries upended that promise, leading us into a hole too deep to recover from despite another second-half surge. Bottom line, we did not play a complete season of competitive baseball, and as a result, we have again missed the most exciting and exhilarating month of the season, October. That's the first paragraph from Ricketts. The sentence starter, the paragraph starter, Sam, there is no way to sugarcoat it. You could argue that he not only does that in this graph, but the letter. But I do think, realizing what he's doing here throughout this letter that he penned, I do want to break it down. It's important. This is coming from the top. But to have the third sentence be inconsistent play and injuries upended the promise of the postseason, it feels like talk is cheap.
Well, I'll even go before that. I know fans had high expectations. Did we? We had an 87 win projection here. You had 82. It's not exactly like we thought this was going to be the 27 Yankees rolling up in here. Mm-hmm. They didn't really do much to improve this team. So that's number one. But the injury part of this really irked me so far from what you read. Again, when I say tone deaf, that's what I mean, right? You don't have to go far. You don't have to drive far to go look up for a team that had worse injuries than you did and had no problem figuring it out. You look around the postseason, the Mets, Matt, you know how Jed and Tom and Carter and Crane and all these guys talk about intelligent spending? You know who hasn't spent intelligently at all? The New York Mets. They're paying $80 million to guys that aren't on their team this year. They're going to be getting off first pitch in about 2 hours at LCS. Sometimes you just got to spend, you know what I mean? So injuries or bad contracts, none of it was an excuse. They didn't have a good enough roster. Yeah, sure. Owsley got hurt. They had some bullpen problems. They had the same thing happen to him a year before. And Jed actually came out after the season. That was the one thing he took direct responsibility for. As far as the injuries to the position players, yeah, I complained a lot about that in April because it was frustrating, but they won games. When they were whole in May and June, or when they struggled May and June, they were whole. They were pretty much whole as a team. So I just don't buy that. And I didn't appreciate it at all.
Yeah. It's not that I feel like he's being dishonest or something like that.
No,
I just feel as though, there's a way to be quicker and concise, get right to what happened. Okay, if you want to do some recap, fine. But as we go throughout this letter, it becomes very much like play-by-play of the season. It's like, yeah, I know Shota Imanaga had that ERA. I know that Michael Busch did that. I know PCA had a nice end of the year. And it's okay. He could point that out. But I just think there was more play-by-play than I thought. Now, with that being said, the second paragraph is this. And then maybe we could decide if we want to go to the next couple about the foundation. So the second paragraph reads, "The work is underway to close the gap to make the Cubs a perennial playoff team. Our baseball operations staff is redoubling its efforts to build a team that consistently plays in the postseason and delivers the promise of sustained success to Cubs fans." I am glad, Sam, that something like that type of sentiment isn't all the way in the last or second to last paragraph, and he does reiterate it later. I am glad he follows up the first graph with this one. Although I didn't know redoubling was a phrase. I thought it was just doubling.
Why don't you keep reading? Get to the part with Imanaga too.
You want me to get there right now?
Well, it's because it's important for my point.
Well, what's interesting is the two graphs before that, though. Though we fell short this season, we have a strong foundation to build on. Jed Carter, our team of coaches, analysts, and scouts and strategists have created one of the top player development groups in the game today with 8 prospects on MLB Pipeline's top 100 list, the most of any team in Major League Baseball. Do you have any thoughts on him citing that?
No.
All right, let's go to this huge graph here.
And just so we're clear, is graph like a new term for paragraph?
Yes, it is. It's a journalism term.
Got it.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of manager Craig Counsell, we continue to see players develop on the major league level. This really is a long paragraph.
We got time.
Rookie pitcher Shota Imanaga, who signed as a free agent last offseason. Yeah, we know he did. Yeah. Had one of the best seasons as a rookie pitcher in Cubs history, leading the team with 15 wins. Wow. A 2.91 ERA, 174 strikeouts, and only 28 walks. He steered the way on a memorable September night at Wrigley Field, where 7 hitless innings kicked off a combined no-hitter that was closed out by Nate Pearson and Porter Hodge. How nice.
That's good.
Okay. Do you want to stop there?
Good. That's good. So here should be the letter.
Okay. He also brought up Busch, PCA, and Happ.
Dear Cub fans, I can't thank you enough and tell you how much your unwavering support means to me and this franchise. Despite another season where we underachieved and did not make the postseason, you filled up that stadium every single day. I truly believe we have the best fans in all of sports. However, you deserve better. And because of your amazing support, because of whatever, we cannot take that for granted. And we have to find a way to bring consistent playoff baseball to you. And that's what we are going to do. And we're going to get back to work right now. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in 2025. Done.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I liked what you said the other day to me.
Well, what, I mean, what? Everybody that got that letter, we all watch all the games.
Right.
We know that Busch had a nice campaign. If you have to brag about a guy that had a 775 OPS, your farewell letter probably wasn't a great season. We know Imanaga had a great year. We talk about him every fifth day on this show, and we're grateful to have him. We don't need. We don't need another sales pitch about the minor leagues and about these guys. We appreciate our fans. They're unbelievable, and we're going to get this fixed for you. That's all fans want to hear. Move on. Now, I get it. It really doesn't matter what he writes. Like, I will admit that, right? This is
okay. I did want to go over that at some point.
Okay. This is a podcast, and we have content that we need to deliver, and this is content. And like you said, and I'd love for you to go more public on the journalism side about the Friday morning release. But it is our responsibility to talk about this. I understand that most people are like, hey, who cares? I get it. But it's not that this bothers me at all from a baseball standpoint. It's just as a fan and as somebody that lives and dies 162 for these guys, and I got to read a paragraph like that. It's like, come on, just say you're grateful for us and it wasn't good enough. That's it. And then we can move on.
We're going to move on with this letter right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Ibotta. Welcome back to the show. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cash that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Join the over 50 million savers and earn cash back every time you shop. Over 2,000 brands and retailers, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying it by using code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back by using code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Ibotta, IBOTTA, and use code LOCKEDONMLB to check out Ibotta today. We are reviewing paragraph by paragraph the letter Cubs owner Tom Ricketts sent out on a Friday morning, this past Friday morning, which is unfortunate. A lot of places, a lot of companies do this. School districts I've worked for will sometimes even do this to their own employees. Maybe companies do it to their own employees, but it's a known tactic, especially for colleges and pro teams in the athletic industry, to put out new information, sometimes even hirings and firings, on a Friday. It's called the Friday News Dump.
Well, and we got one. We did get a mutual parting ways as well. I think that was later that day, Friday, with Willie Harris.
And the Willie Harris news was Friday afternoon. Yeah. Folks, just do this during the week. Do it during the week. Just be a little more thoughtful. Put it out on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday, maybe noon, 1, 2, 3 p.m. But don't bury it going into the weekend.
My favorite Cubs PR moment of since we had this podcast was when they were having that miserable road trip in May of 23, and they were about to get swept by the Nats, and like 30 seconds after the Nats took a 3-0 lead, they announced Mervis was coming up.
Oh yeah,
it was so obvious. They knew already, but they wanted to wait.
Oh, weird.
So now hey, we're not about to lose our 9th in a row. Mervis is coming up.
All right. Hey, that's March Madness music.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too early for that.
It's too early for that. It's still nice, although the weather dropped. I was actually downtown Sunday.
No, it plummeted today.
I walked in. It was about 72. I walked out. It felt like snow.
Today's the day it changed. It's going to be 50s the next 3 days and 30s overnight.
Really?
Chicagoland area, yeah.
Oh, so it's here now.
The next 3 paragraphs, I do appreciate. Tom Ricketts shouted out, well, first of all, Ryan Sandberg, but
Right.
then he also shouted out Cubs for a Cure. That was a great event.
Right. Yeah. I should clarify when I did my Ricketts letter, that's assuming that stuff in there. I just meant the meat and bones of the baseball.
Right. But I did like that was in there. I
agree.
I do. Again, mixing it in with the baseball, it's a little touch and go, but the Cubs, in terms of Cubs for a Cure, Cubs charities, other events, they do run them well. Cubs 5K.
No, you just can't lead with that before the baseball stuff, which he didn't. So it was good. It was good. The Sandberg stuff, the Cubs for a Cure, all the charity stuff. It's important to acknowledge. You gotta use your platform for good. So he's doing that. I have no problem with that. I meant the first paragraph or two. That's just, hey, we weren't good enough. You're great. Right. We're not. We're going to get better. Then get to that stuff.
All right, let's get to the next 2 paragraphs. And then maybe even last segment, we could kind of tease some stuff that maybe we're hearing or I'm seeing or possibly hearing with kind of the business aspect of all this. Because here's the last 2 paragraphs. Ricketts says it's more than a game. It is a tradition that spans decades with our fans at its heart and soul. You bring an excitement to the ballpark that is as time-honored as the Ivy Line walls and historic scoreboard. I want to personally express my sincere gratitude for your continued loyalty to our team. Now, it is time for us to get to work to bring championship caliber baseball back to Wrigley Field. Sincerely, Tom Ricketts.
Yeah, I'm fine if that was just the opening and that was it.
Yeah, that could have been like it would be more of a statement than a letter, right?
Yeah. That could have been the opening. Then talk about Sandberg and the Cubs for a Cure and be done.
Right.
We didn't need the paragraph about Imanaga. We didn't need the Bush stuff. We sure didn't need the injuries. We sure didn't need you to convince us that the prospects are good. We all know that.
And to connect to our Crown Jewel episode last week, yeah, this is more than a game to this fan base. So let's lean into that and let's do something about it. I know what makes Wrigley Field special. I know why this organization is special. I know that being a fan of this team is special. Let's start seeing some results on the field that match that tone and mood and everything about this team that we pour our hearts into. And is that too much to ask?
Well, ultimately, that's what it's good. That's what it has to be. So that's why even if he said exactly verbatim what I said, most fans are gonna be like, "All right, I don't believe you. Show me on the field." So that's why at the end of the day, we break down the letter, yada yada. All of it will be solved between the lines, between the foul lines. How many can you win and have your win total start with a 9 next year? Can you be a 90-plus win team? That's what it comes down to. It's just, here we go. You know where I'm going? It's just about winning baseball games.
Yeah.
He could, if they win 94 games, he could write on the letter, he goes, "I'm grateful for everybody, but that Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs, I really don't like him. I don't care if he calls me out. Just, you win 94 games. You don't win. You just win 94 games. You can say whatever you want. It's just about winning."
Right. And I do think to the point of, building a path to 90 wins, Sam, and like a 90-win ball club. I do see what Jed's saying about, only 3 of the 12 postseason teams were projected to win 90-plus games. Fine. Then the preseason projection should be 87 or 88 or 89. Yeah, I understand that there's a foot of snow on the ground and Pacoda spits out their projection. Yeah, you know what? It is pretty hard to start with a 9, but
87
you could do 87.
87
last year, the projection was like 77.
Yeah, and then
that ended up being foreshadowing. It did.
No, and then the final number, because I bet it was 83.
You didn't build a good enough roster.
The final number was 83.5, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You're talking about the Pacoda. I'm talking about the
same realm, same family.
FanDuel line, yeah.
Yeah, I would say 86 plus, 86 and a half.
The over-under on FanDuel by opening day, if it's any less than 86, it's not good enough.
Yeah, I would say 86.5, maybe 85 and a half.
Ooh,
something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So
so
you want it to be higher.
86, I think, is the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, usually they do halves, right?
Yeah. 86 and a half they could do.
All right. Coming up next, what's going on right now, with Marquee? Okay. We got to imagine subscriptions are just plummeting. Okay. I just got an email Friday. Speaking of Friday news dump, Sam, you might want to check your inbox. I got a season ticket email 5 p.m. Friday after I talked to you on the phone.
Oh, let me see.
Cubs convention tickets. I'm always getting ads for that on X. That can't be going well, right? So let's get into some of this. Okay, let's get into some of this.
I didn't get any email. They probably moved on from me.
Ouch. Coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you could start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Folks, it's been a long time coming. It hasn't been since I've been alive, but the Chicago Bears may have found a quarterback.
Totally.
They're now playing 2024 style football from game 1 to game 6. Caleb Williams has shown tons of strides. He looks like a professional out there. And I know you can't decide who you play. He just has to play his schedule, and he's doing great. That line closed at Bears -1. It opened at 2.5. And the Jags. Jags -1, Bears +1 on FanDuel. And the Bears just destroyed this team. You can go on FanDuel right now and get Caleb Williams Offensive Rookie of the Year at +175. Jaden Daniels is still -200. Those two guys are going to face each other in a couple weeks, and it might very well be whoever wins the trophy. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of this team. You'll get started with $200 of bonus bets, Matt, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet, Matt.
Well, I was conservative. I said 3-3 going to the bye, 6-5 on Thanksgiving. I'm saying 7-4 on Thanksgiving now. I think this is looking good right here.
I'm proud of this football team. They got themselves a good quarterback. They made the right decision. That's FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook.
All right, let me read this email I got.
Where's my
5:01 p.m. Friday. Good day, Matt. I hope all is well. Reaching out because you previously purchased Cubs tickets, and I wanted to see if you're interested in unlocking early access to 2025 season tickets. While season tickets were sold out for the 2024 season, we anticipate limited seats to become available for 2025 by placing a $500 deposit toward 2025 season tickets. You will receive priority access to secure your location ahead of the general public in November. And then there's a couple more things there. I just think with whether it's TV, tickets, the convention, I really do think that they would see a more even keel results and purchasing power if they didn't win 83 games 2 years in a row. I don't think it's complicated. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Look, I didn't get that email.
Right.
So, look, the marquee stuff's probably more interesting than the ticket stuff. They're going to sell tickets to Wrigley. Okay. We could sit here and pound the table all we want that, we're disappointed. And look, at some point, we're gonna have our shift in the offseason to where we put away 2024 and we welcome in 2025. We're not close to that yet because it's still October. There's postseason baseball.
Maybe a month away, something like that.
And once we do that, we're gonna be like everybody else, counting down the days and thinking about summer in Wrigley and 7:05 starts where their son's still beaten down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But Ricketts and Jed have to figure out a way to get this team to the next level. They have to figure out a way to open things up to where instead of continuing to talk about the 8 prospects you have in the top 100, you either could use them to help you win baseball games on the field or use them as capital and assets to go get better players on the field. Because we were told that this was not a rebuild. 2022 was a rebuilding season. I think Jed got a little bit hurt by his own success because that team in 23 was better than we thought it was going to be. And the way that they lost, I think, raised internal and external expectations for 2024. But bottom line is they didn't make the playoffs. And then 2024, not only did they not make the playoffs, they didn't get any better. So now we're on year 4. 25 will be the 4th season since the sell-off. And in my opinion, I don't know what the definition of a rebuild is, but if you go 4 consecutive years in an expanded postseason, not making it, that's obviously not nearly good enough. I'm tired of the letters. I'm tired of the press conferences. I'm tired of the interviews, and I'm ready to, win some baseball game.
Absolutely. And this week we will continue to review the 2024 season, player report cards, things like that. But anytime news breaks or there's the latest rumor or even kernel of a rumor, we'll definitely get to that as well. But again, the first dates to be aware of is going to be that 5-day window after the World Series that player options are due. And that's for Bellinger and then also technically Smiley, although the Cubs will very likely part ways with him. And then there's also an exclusive 5-day, that same 5 days is an exclusive window to negotiate with any free agent that ended the year on your roster.
Before the qualifying.
So if you want to sign Jorge Lopez if you want him to be one of the first free agents off the board, I think they could make that a goal. You offer Jorge Lopez 2 years, he's going to sign about a month from now. That's going to be some good news to talk about.
Yeah, and I think, you were awesome last year with the rumor mill and stuff like that. We'll have fun with that. And listen, a lot of those rumor mills, I don't regret 1 second the amount of time we spent on Ohtani.
No, it's part of the fun.
And Alonso, there was some fire there. There will be this year too with him.
Yeah.
I would expect. And
Santander and Carson Kelly and Danny Jansen and
now
I'm being funny, but
I hope so, because that's not exactly a high-level marketing ploy for our listeners.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On. Give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs.
We're going to talk about Jansen
along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, as we did hit 11,000 subs, Sam, on Sunday.
Beautiful. Congrats to you.
And you as well. Smash the like button for the algorithm and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Congrats to us.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not going to congratulate myself.
Got it. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
See ya.